Back. So, going towards winter, you are almost definitely vitamin. Cumulative effect of the deficiency of vitamin D. Cumulative effect of the deficiency of vitamin D is going to come back and bite you in the you know what. And so you're going to see weaknesses. Those weaknesses have built up over the years, and it's going to affect your brain function, your brain structure, your brain function, and so on and so forth. But that's an easy one. I wanted to just throw that. Chances of you having dementia are so much greater. Even if you've had cancer that was treated, because things can also cause what he's thinking, or the pancreas is thinking, why aren't these cells applies to the brain as well? It also applies to the body, obviously. And we're going to get many professors who have dementia, so it's not like it's a full complete encouraging me. But I said, well, do you think this country, Nigeria, that in Africa as well, there's a high degree of illiteracy as well? Now the thing is, we don't know, like the average age is like 77. Average health span is about, I think Nigeria is still about 53, 54. Hopefully it's going to get longer than that very soon. But dementia usually happens around the age of 65. So that's a lot later. Now, if for some miraculous reason our lifespan just was boosted to about 64, 65, you probably would be seeing a lot more dementia. It's because people are dying a lot earlier these days than in the Western world. That's why we're not seeing that much dementia. But I guarantee you, when people start living longer and longer, you're going to be seeing a lot more dementia. I'm already beginning to see it. I'm having people call me and having to talk with people, having to help people whose parents or grandparents are living with dementia. I can see it on the horizon. This is coming. It's coming very, very quickly. So please, the moral of the story or the lesson here is that you want to get active. You want to get active mentally, you want to get active socially, you want to get active physically as well. And don't forget to strain. There's something to be said for tasking your muscles as well as tasking your brain. All right, there are a few other reasons why Black people tend to have dementia worse than white people. And we'll get to that in a few minutes. So do not go away. See you soon. Welcome back. Another reason why Black people tend to have it worse than white people where dementia is concerned is the obvious reason of poverty, whether it's in Nigeria, other parts of Africa, or in the Western world. That poverty leads to a couple of things. It reduces your access to quality health care. I mean, if you can't pay for even the transportation to get to a hospital, you're not going to be able to see a neurologist. Now, the other thing, obviously, that poverty does is that poverty prevents you from education. So we talk about education. Yeah, you're not as enlightened as the person who has access to funds or to resources, obviously. So you won't know about these things. And because you're poor, you may not be able to, even if you knew about these things, you're not going to be able to act on these things. For instance, I mentioned vitamin D earlier. There's no way you're going to get enough vitamin D, short of staying in the sun naked 3 to 4 hours a day between the hours of 10 a.m. and maybe 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. You're not going to get vitamin D. So you've got to take a supplement, and supplements cost money. So you got to take that. And it's not just vitamin D that's a supplement. You need zinc, you need vitamin C, you need magnesium, you need omega-3s, and you need the right kind of omega-3s. Omega-3s are one of the most important things for your brain. It helps to protect your brain. And it's not cheap. You've got some low quality ones and you've got some high quality ones. As I mentioned to you before, the best omega-3s that we use in our clinic cost $100. That's like 70,000 or is it 80,000? I don't know. I think the dollar rate came to about 900 naira to a dollar at one point. So that was like 90,000 naira for one bottle. We were giving these things out like they were candy for a long time. And that's how we started our foundation. And that's because we were fortunate enough to have donations of omega-3s. We don't have those donations anymore. But the point is that omega-3s are expensive. They're really good kinds of omega-3s. And so poverty might prevent you from taking advantage of that. Obviously, you can always reach out to us in the clinic and we can help in one way or the other, especially for your child. Speaking about diet, the brain needs specific nutrients. You should be able to get a good diet, some of these nutrients from your foods, especially plant-based foods that have a lot of these protective chemicals, brain protective chemicals, but they have to be raw. they have to be eaten raw, like in salads. Most of the times in Nigeria and Africa, in fact, we cook everything. We cook you know what, out of our foods, and we really cook them. And the next day we keep on warming, and I mean, we drive the nutrients out of the foods. Most of the new foods that provide healthy nutrients for the brain are raw. And so that's a problem. And I think culturally too, I remember there was one pastor who said that his grandmother told him that the only things that eat leaves and, you know, referring to salads, are goats and sheep. Goats and sheep. So there's this kind of like, we look down on raw foods. Raw foods are some of the most important things for our brains and our bodies. All right. So we talked about poverty. Another thing would be employment. There's a high, less employment in African countries, especially among the youth. Think about that. If youth in their 20s and their 30s are not actively engaged at work, actively tasking their brains, that's another thing that can make you more susceptible to brain conditions in the long term. Remember, we talked about it. You have to strengthen your muscles. You have to strengthen your muscles. You have to strengthen your brain so that your brain can serve you in the future. So that's poverty. That's diets. We've talked about access as well. So what do you do with all this? How do you protect yourself? I always like to think about the easiest thing, the things that you can apply for yourself on a long-term basis, on a very long-term basis, because of, like we said, brain damage happens over a long period of time. So you want to be able to protect your brain over a long period of time. So I'm going to throw out a few things that I feel that everybody who is listening to me right now should be doing for their brains. Yes, you're going to exercise at least 3 times a week. Get out on, if the least you can do is walk for about 30 minutes. Obviously, you want to do a lot more walking. Yeah, you want to engage in more reading. And then you want to avoid, especially if you're over 40, over 32. Fried foods, processed foods that you obviously know are not going to be good for you. They have a lot of chemicals, they have a lot of toxic kinds of fat. Then on top of that, I've said this over and over again, I'll say it again, you want to be taking 5,000 to 10,000 international units of vitamin D. The research is out. That's what will help you as a Black person. And if you're concerned about calcium overload, then take vitamin K2 in addition to vitamin D. If you don't know where to get that, just reach out to us. Send us an email or send us a WhatsApp chat. Vitamin D. After vitamin D, you want to take vitamin B complex. The most important vitamins in the vitamin B complex range are B1, B6, and B12. B1, B6, and B12. As a matter of fact, some forms of dementia, they are linking it directly. And they found out that simply by supplementing with B1, in some cases with B12, they've seen a complete reversal of the dementia just by giving those B vitamins. But some people say that B vitamins should be called brain vitamins. All right, so that's that. You also want to take zinc. I understand, and we've seen that zinc is probably one of the most important minerals for the brain. You also want to take magnesium. So if you combine these, and then the vitamin C, I recommend vitamin C. Go over them again. Vitamin C, vitamin D3, plus or minus vitamin K2, the B vitamins, and zinc and magnesium. And if you can afford it, you want to take omega-3s on a regular basis as well. If you take these 3, and this is probably you want to find out where we can get some good sources, some really good quality supplements that are not too expensive. Just reach out to us. So these 5 or 6 things would significantly help you. And of course, don't forget to sleep well. You want to sleep in a dark room. One of the things they are saying is that amyloid plaques, which are related to dementia, they tend to accumulate more when you don't sleep well enough. So you need about 6, 7, 8 hours a day. If you can't get that, but whatever happens, make sure you cover your eyes. You want to sleep in complete darkness. And of course, no noise as well, but complete darkness is so important for your brain to properly shut down and do the work of repairing, detoxifying, regenerating itself as you sleep. So I hope that serves you. Remember, you can always reach out to us. Our website is brainandbodyfoundation.org. And we're on all the social media platforms, and we are, let's see, what else, on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch some of our old videos, please reach out to us. That's it for now. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, practice health principles. Stay safe.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The captivating yet intriguing sights and engaging and unique sounds can leave a sightseer in awe. But when you make these adventures, do you go searching for your familiar foods, or are you adventurous like me to taste new delicacies? Though I am not a food taster, I'm on the trail of 6 different Nigerian cuisines, and my first stop is going to be Benue State, where the attraction isn't really pounded yam, but the soup. Okoho soup is indigenous to the people of Idoma land in Benue State, and to my knowledge, the thickest soup in the country. Chefs Elehi and Ada are going to be taking me on the rudiment of eating Okoho soup.
The way we make our Okoho soup, it comes from a stem. It's a long stem, it's dried. So when you pluck the stem out, you beat it out, plug it into tiny shredded pieces. Then you tie it together, put it in a bowl, add your very hot water that is fully cooked. Then you leave it for a while. So when you begin to press it, the juice, which is the liquid, will begin to come out of the Okoho. So you drain that out. That's the one you use for the stock. So you now add that juice that you got from the stem, the one you squeezed out, pour it inside and whip. It's really thick.
And when you take a mold of pounded yam, you mold it, then you go into the soup. You turn it like, because it's thick, then you have to, with the tip of your tongue, that will be the scissors.
Okoho soup may arguably be the world's slimiest soup and very tasty. While we are salivating on the tasty Okoho soup, let us travel to Delta State, famous for their thick and slimy delicacy. This time not a soup, but a yellowish dough. Starch. Starch can be eaten with any soup, but its number one companion is banga soup, followed closely by owo soup, another local delicacy. Starch is made from cassava, and though it's tasteless eaten alone, it is mouth-watery taken with banga soup. It is originally an Urobo delight, but now a common feature in states in the South-South. Before settling down to a meal of starch, be sure to get a lesson or two on how to cut it. Where amala and ewedu mixed with bigiri and pomo is a party favorite, but this meal has traveled far past the southwestern borders. So let's skip that and take a look at ewa agoin. This is a meal made from black-eyed beans, which is cooked extremely soft and mashed. It is taken with a barely ground pepper sauce. This is popular in many streets and homes in Yoruba land. Tuwo shinkafa is made from short grain rice, which is overcooked and made into a mold, while the miyan kuka is from the powdery leaves of the baobab tree. It is said to be the easiest soup in the north to prepare. Then we go east, where we have ofe onobu, ofe nsala, ofe oweri. But what caught my eye was abacha, a mixture of cassava, vegetables,